Hey everyone, Anthony here. It's time for my 8-month hair transplant update. First, we're going to start with answering some questions that you guys had from the last video, and then I'll tell you about why I'm considering my transplant a failure and talk about the possible causes behind it. So basically the questions that I received mostly were about the scar in the back of my head. I have my laptop here that I'm reading notes from, that's why I'm looking down. People are asking to see the scar, asking if it's stretched, asking if there's any scar tissue in the recipient area up here, stuff like that. Before I get into answering the questions, make sure if you have any questions to leave them as a comment in this video, and I'll answer them in the next video. The 16th of every month is when I do these videos because I had my hair transplant on January 16th. Yeah, I'll get to them then. Also, after my 1 year mark, I'm not going to be making any more hair transplant videos. We'll talk about that more later. Alright, so I can't do this, like I can't bring the camera around, so I'm just going to turn my head around to show you the scar, and hopefully that all works out well. I don't even know if you can see it or not. Usually I cut the hair on the sides of my head at a number 5. It's been a month or a month and a half since I cut my hair last, so it's a bit longer now, but I find that a number 5 is what you can't see the scar with. Oh, please, please, please be good. So this scar, yeah, I guess it's like right here. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. I reviewed the footage. It looks, you can see it on camera. So I don't know what your opinions or thoughts are on it. Mine, I don't really notice it, you know. I do have, like, in the top crown, like right here, there is still some like sensitivity and tenderness, and this is again 8 months after we went through this operation. As far as the scar stretching, I don't really know what that means. It doesn't seem any different than when I first got the operation, other than it's healed. So yeah. Alright, yeah, I'll move up close and show you like the top of my head. As far as there being like scarring where they implanted the hairs or anything like that, there's nothing like that in there. So this is what it looks like. If we get up close, there is like pretty big bald spot like right here, and I definitely haven't receded any, or like this was filled in when I had the transplant is what I'm trying to say. My hair hasn't been I haven't been losing hair in this area. So, and then same on this side. And there's like a side view. I hope this is a side view. Sun's in my eyes. And top down. I guess because the sunlight from this window over here doesn't let you see like that well into this area. Alright, so now I gotta talk about why I'm calling my transplant a failure. I guess I have to give you my definition of what a failure is to me. So the hair on the top of my head, the transplanted area, definitely isn't as thick as the rest of the hair on my head. So that's why I'm considering it a failure, because, well, when you get a hair transplant, you kind of expect it to be the same density as the rest of the hair on your head and all that. And we're 8 months in, which apparently you should see like 80 to 85% growth by then. So yeah, there is still hope. Like in the next year, by 12 months, it'll fill out more. Yeah, the second reason that I'm calling it a failure is because I went to see my surgeon a couple weeks ago, and I didn't see him specifically. My appointment was to see him, but his assistant came out to the waiting room and was like talking to me and putting her fingers through my hair and all that, and told me that I'll need another hair transplant and asked me if I wanted to schedule another one. So because she said that I would need another hair transplant, that's why I'm considering it a failure as well. I didn't end up talking to my surgeon that day. I was just like, she asked me if I still wanted to see him, and I said no, that's okay, because I didn't have anything else to talk about. I just wanted to get like someone else's opinion on it, and she gave me her opinion and whatever. So and I didn't schedule another hair transplant appointment because I want to wait a full 12 months before I schedule another surgery. So yeah, what I was talking about in the beginning of the video, if and when I get a second transplant, I'm not going to continue doing videos on it. Even though these are like the most consistently popular videos on my channel, don't want my channel to be hair transplant focused like at all. I'm going to stop doing videos for that after 12 months is over. I was thinking about, and let me know in the comments if you want to see this, and I'll try to make it happen. But I was thinking about doing an interview with my surgeon to see what caused the failure and everything like that. I can't guarantee that it'll work out. I haven't talked to him to see if he'll do it or anything like that. If he'll want to talk about any of it on camera. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and if you want to see it, I'll try to set up like an interview with him. But I did find two websites that I'm gonna go by. I'll move over and I'll put the topics up here about some reasons that a hair transplant could fail. So from this first website, it says the grafts were not handled properly. The most important part of your hair transplant is having enough grafts to transplant from one area of the head to another. At the Harley Street Hair Clinic, we take the utmost care when looking after your grafts, as we know your hair is a precious resource. It's important that it's handled properly and professionally so they're not damaged and lost. I can't really speak to that because I don't know the proper procedure to handle the donor things. I know that my surgeon, like I was in the room when they took him out and everything, and they took out the strips and cut up every little piece like under the microscope, and they had different women doing it at each point. So they took like breaks when they got tired and everything. And then when they transplanted it, the doctor punched all the holes into my head, and then his assistants are the ones that implanted them into my head, and they took breaks like every 15-20 minutes or so and switched assistants that were doing it so they didn't get tired. So I don't know, like that's all I can speak about myself if they were handled properly. The next one is the grafts were not placed correctly. And it says, this is very important to place the hair grafts correctly, and this requires a special skill that takes a long time to acquire. I don't know how long my doctor has been doing hair transplants. I think at least 15 years. You would have to go to his website to see like how long he's been doing it. But I know he's been doing it for at least 15 years or so. From everything that I've seen, he's pretty skilled at what he's doing. I know that when I was having the operation done, he asked me like what direction my hair falls in, like naturally, and I didn't know because my hair was like I always comb my hair back, and I don't know, I wasn't even thinking. So I told him like, oh, I don't know, I just comb it back. But the transplanted hair definitely sticks up, while like my natural the natural lay of my hair naturally falls to the front. So these ones stick up. So I think he put them in to stick up like straight up, and that wasn't like his wrongdoing or anything. That's because I'm the one who told him to do that, pretty much. But I don't think like the angle that you put them in really matters for the amount of growth and density that you'll get. Next is not using the correct donor grafts. Some clients will do hair transplants with donor grafts from other areas of the body, and in some cases will use other people's hair. Using donor hair from other areas of the body and other people will not work as well as donor hair from your own head. So mine was taken from the back of my own head, which is what everyone else does. So I don't think that's the issue. Next is not being a suitable candidate. Hair transplants are amazing procedures that can transform someone from thinning or balding hair. However, not everyone is a suitable candidate. The suitable candidate thing is a clickable link, so I'm going to click on it and see if it specifies what a suitable candidate is. So the first bullet point is your hair type, and it just says that factors such as hair color, texture, and waviness or curliness may affect the cosmetic result. It doesn't say which color or which texture or which curliness is good or bad. So I can't really comment on that if my type of hair wasn't good enough for a hair transplant. And also when I went for a consultation and everything, no one told me that I wasn't a suitable candidate. So the next one is the cause of your hair loss. Like if you're sick or something like that, or if it's any reason that it's not like natural balding, which mine is from natural balding. It's not from psoriasis, from what that is, because I was balding even before psoriasis and all that. I'm going to look up real quick if psoriasis can cause hair loss. Well, I think psoriasis can cause hair loss, but I really only have psoriasis in like the back bottom of my hair right here. So I don't have psoriasis up here or anything. So, and also stress isn't the cause of my hair loss either. Then the last thing is age and severity of hair loss. It says like if you're as young as 21 or whatever, it's not recommended to get a hair loss or a hair transplant, and I'm 32, so yeah, I'm a good candidate as far as age. So yeah, that's the points from that one list. Here's another website for contributing factors to a failed hair transplant. Number 1, inexperience of the surgeon, which we discussed already. Number 2, insufficient postoperative care. So it's a little bit hard to remember like all the stuff that I did like after the operation, but I know like the following day, I think it was, I went back there for a hair wash, and like I was too afraid to touch the grafts and wash my hair myself. Well, they recommend going to them for your first hair wash. And then I think I went back the following 2 days for them to wash my hair as well, because I was still like afraid. And then I think a week after that, I went back again, and they said that everything was healing fine and everything looked good. It talks about in this about infections and whatever, and I didn't get any infections or anything like that. The doctor gave me an antibiotic after that I took as prescribed, and I think a pain reliever, some type of pain medication as well, that I also took as prescribed. It also says to avoid sun exposure, which I was inside my house like I always am, and I think it was like 3 or 4 months later. In the past, I would go tanning to help cure psoriasis that was on my skin, and I would go tanning for that, and it wasn't until like 3 or 4 months after everything was healed that I ended up going tanning. I think I did that for 1 or 2 months out of the 8 months after the transplant. The next thing is avoid excessive sweating and working out and whatever. And unfortunately for my muscles in my body, I haven't went to the gym in about a year. The next one is not being an ideal candidate for a hair transplant, which we discussed before. And then the next one, number 4, dishonesty in hair transplant clinics. So this section of the article just talks about like the hair transplant surgeon like being after you for your money and not reaching out to you after surgery and all that. My surgeon gave me like his cell phone number, and he texted me like a couple times after the surgery to make sure I was okay and all that. It also talks about like the surgeon not telling you how many grafts they pulled out and all that. I know that when I was there, they had a counter for every single hole that they poked and every single graft that they put in, and it ended up being 2,110 grafts, which I paid for 2,000, and then there was 100 free on top of that, and then the extra 10 that they put in. Then the last one is a misunderstanding. So for misunderstanding, it talks about me expecting more than what's realistic and all that. So it says some people tend to rush to conclusions, declaring the operation unsuccessful before the process is complete and without giving any chance of hair growth. You can expect to see visible results of the hair transplant within 12 months or more, and sometimes you may grow impatient or question the outcome. Wanting to see remarkable results as soon as possible is absolutely normal. Prior to the procedure, consulting your doctor or a medical advisor on what hair transplant results to expect for the following months will help avoid any misunderstandings. So I don't think that I'm misunderstanding anything or expecting too much. Maybe I am impatient. I don't know. I'm still waiting 12 months before I have another operation. But like I said, the fact of me going to my doctor and them saying that I'll need another hair transplant is what makes me think that I'm not really misunderstood and that this was a failure. So yeah, that's the end of this video, guys. Like I said, leave comments with your questions down below, and I'll get to them on the 16th of next month when I do the next video. And if you want to see an interview with my doctor, let me know that too, and I'll see if I can make that happen. I can't guarantee it though. That's it. Take care. Thank you, and goodbye.